Folks, let me tell you about a seller who lost big money being honest. Then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending July 16th, 2025. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. So speaking with this gentleman, he said too many things to the buyer. His home was for sale. It had been on the market for a while. It weren't a lot of showings. He is doing everything he can. He's played around with the price. He gets a showing. An offer comes in, so he's pretty excited he's got an offer. And the seller, the gentleman I'm speaking with, sends a counter offer to the buyers. And the buyers decided that they want to have another look at the property before they continue on with the conversation, continue on with the negotiations. So they book a showing. Now the seller, who's done some rentals in the house, thought it would be good if he walks the buyers through the home to explain the rental so they could like the house more and see the value. So that's what he does. He's walking the buyers and the buyer's agent through the home. He's explaining things. They seem really happy with all the explanations of the rentals and things and talking about the different features of the home. And in that conversation, the seller also says, oh, by the way, all the furniture is for sale also, and the car is for sale. And they said, oh, you're selling and everything? And so the seller told him, he goes, yeah, the reason even the house, I don't want to sell it. I love this house. I love the neighborhood. It's just I got some financial problems I got to deal with. So everything's for sale. The buyers and agent continued to walk around the house a little bit on their own. Then they left. And on the way out, they said, you're going to hear from us tonight. And that's what happened. The buyers submitted another offer, but it was $50,000 lower than their original offer, plus they wanted all the furniture. He's explaining to me, he says, Santo, if I just would have accepted the first offer that they gave, I would have been way better off. But they took advantage of what I told them. I was just being honest. I didn't think I was doing any harm. I told them how much I love the house in the neighborhood, but I was forced to sell, and they're using it against me. And I was stuck. Like, I don't know when the next offer's coming in. What can I do? I negotiated a little bit. The furniture they didn't get, but they kind of got close to the price, the second one that they were offered, way less than what their first offer was. Folks, let me tell you, between buyers and sellers, the less interaction buyers and sellers can have, the better. I know it sounds crazy, but the better. I've seen it too many times where one side is just being honest and nice, but they divulge too much information that the other side takes advantage of. I've been representing the buyers, and I find out, whether it's through the agent or through the actual seller, that they've already purchased. I use that to help my buyers get a better price. I've been on the seller side where I'm representing a seller, and I find out that the buyer has sold their home, or they've been trying to buy in that neighborhood for over a year. I find out this information, and for sure, I and other realtors are going to use that to better represent their own clients. Loose lips sink ships. You've all heard that before. I'm not telling you to lie to the other side, but you don't have to tell them personal financial situation. How's it going? How's the weather? Stick to the renovation specifically if you feel you must say something, but do not divulge information, and you don't even know what's going to be used against you. So the less you say, the better. The best solution: avoid meeting up with the other party of the transaction. If this has ever happened to you, let me know in the comments below. If you've been on one side of the transactions or the other, and you've got some information that you could use to better your own position. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Peel and Durham region. We're focused on the detached market only. We're going to be specifically looking at Mississauga, Brampton, and for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby, those three cities, as my Durham sample. So Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham. Brampton and Durham, pretty much very, very close when it comes to average sold price. Mississauga is always way up here. Currently, the difference in average sold price between Brampton and Durham and Mississauga, it's about $400,000 difference. It's a big difference. We're going to start off with Mississauga. For week ending July 16th, 40 detached properties were sold. 5 of those sold at $2 million or more. I'd like to talk to you about trends and what I see happening. I'm not able to really look at sales and point out a trend. For most areas, most neighborhoods, we're seeing sales trending down, which is normal at this time of year. As we're in July and then heading into August, sales typically tend to trend down. We're not really seeing that in Mississauga. Average sold price is $1,432,000. That's for week ending July 16th. If we kind of look back at Mississauga, we see the beginning of the year or so, prices trending down. Then since April all the way up to, say, mid-June, prices were trending back up. Now, I'm not sure the direction. It kind of looks like they're trending downwards, but not aggressively. Let's forget this one crazy one down here at 1.3. Kind of looks like maybe trending down. So $1,432,000 is 1% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of $1,413 is 5% higher. 40 were sold, 5 of those, so 13% sold at list price or more. 130 were listed. A lot of these new listings are properties that were previously on the market and got relisted. But for week ending July 16th, there's 130 new listings that came on the market. 4% of all the detached properties available for sale in Mississauga actually sold. And there's 993 detached properties for sale in Mississauga. So basically 1,000 properties for sale. Months of inventory sitting at 5.7. That's just above what we would say is a balanced market. Balanced markets between 3% and 5%. We're sitting at 5.7. Here's Brampton. 36 detached properties sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $1,045,000. Average sold price for detached properties in Brampton, it's pretty clear, has been trending down for basically this whole year so far. Compared to last year for the same week, $1,045,000 is 7% lower. The median price of $1,003,000 is also 7% lower. Average price and median price trending down. 36 were sold. A quarter of those, so 9, sold at list price or more. 228 new listings in Brampton. Active listings, like in many areas, is climbing, but there's a lot. There's 1,400,000 1,466 detached properties available for sale in Brampton. And when we look at how many actually sold, only 2.5% of all detached properties available for sale actually sold. Now that percentage, 2.5, it's pretty similar to how condos are behaving as far as volume of sales. So 2.5 is pretty low. Months of inventory, pretty consistent now, way up there at 9+ months of inventory. For this week, we're at 9.4. Here's Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. 40 detached properties sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Sales do look like they're trending down. Same with average sold price trending down. We're now sitting at $1,019,000. $1,019,000 is 17% lower than the same week a year. Sorry, not 17. It's 7% lower than the same week a year ago. Median price of $985 is 8% lower. Both median and average price trending downwards. 40 were listed. 10 of those, so 25%, sold at list price or more. 129 new listings, but the amount of new listings is trending down. There's 716 actually available for sale. So basically we're saying 5.6% of all detached properties available for sale in Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby, 5.6% actually sold. Months of inventory, pretty much in the middle of a balanced market at 4.1 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Depending on where you're shopping or where you're selling, you're going to most likely experience a balanced market or a buyer's market. It all depends, but price point neighborhood has a lot to do with it. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.